Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the first update for my year of usage project plan. This project was created by Kathrine. I don't know when she created it. It was a couple of years ago, I believe. And I have loved following her project. I think it's such a fun idea. It's a good way to get use out of your whole collection. I have, however, made a little bit of a twist to this project where I want to only focus on singles. So originally in her project, what the project kind of entails, if you didn't see my introduction at the end of December, basically you want to reach for every single eyeshadow in your collection the same amount of times as the year you're in. So right now I want to reach for all of my singles 25 times. And that's the goal for the year. Of course, you might not be able to get through all of your shadows in a year, and if so, they roll over to the next year, and so does the uses. The uses also roll over. So for example, if you want 12 uses at the end of 2025 on a shadow, you will start off with 12 uses in 2026, so the uses will continue. However, the goal then increases by 1 because we are then in 2026. So whatever I don't hit my goal on this year will roll over to next year, and I'm foreseeing this to be quite a long haul project, but I'm excited to do so. I'm excited to keep this project going and to get some good use out of my single collection. So I'm going to talk you through today which eyeshadows I hit my goal on, which ones I've used 25 times, and also kind of which ones are going to be my focus for next month. So that's what I'm going to go through in this video. But before I jump into it, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So like I said, I'm going to start off with the eyeshadows that I've hit my goal on. I have everything that I want to talk about in this palette right here. But again, we're going to start with the shadows that I have hit my goal on. So these are shadows that I have now reached for 25 times, and they will be like ticked as completed in this project. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to stop using them fully for the year, but at least I have hit my usage goal on them. So we're going to start off with a shadow that comes from my Panda palette. This right here is the shade Starlight from the Pastel Roses. You can see now I have a decent dip in the shadow. But yeah, this is one that I have reached for 25 times now. I have focused on it a lot in January. I might have had like a usage or two at the end of 2024, and that's another thing with me. I'm counting 2024 usage as well, just because I have them tracked in my spreadsheet, and there was very few that I had, you know, more than 10 uses on, so I thought that would be, you know, a little bit of an incentive, I guess. I don't know if I had any uses on this one though, but if I did, it was very low, and this has mainly been a focus for me in January, so I have used this one quite a bit. And yeah, that is going to be the first shadow that I have now completed. But of course, since it is in my Panda palette, I'm going to reach for it loads more this year. We have a second shadow that I have also completed my usage goal on. I'm actually wearing this for the 25th time today, and that is the shade Renaissance from Cleona. You can see again there is a little bit of a dip, but not as much as I thought. This is quite a firmly pressed shadow, and you don't need very much. This is the shimmer shadow that I have on my lids today. I'm wearing like a matte all over the lid with another one crease, and then I don't know on the main corner, but this is the shadow on my lid. So this is another one, and I had, I believe, 10 or 15 users at the end of last year, so this is one that I kind of had a bit of a head start with, and that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to focus on this one. But yeah, I have hit my goal on this shadow, so yeah, I'm glad that this one is now completed, and another one that can kind of move out of this project. Then we have one final shadow that I have hit my goal on. Yes, it's only 3, but we are very early in the year after seeing the number to go up quite a lot moving forward, because, you know, I might have reached for a couple 5 times this month, and then, you know, they were going to continue increasing throughout the year, so that's going to be the case, I feel. So I'm not too surprised that there's not too many shadows. But the third and final shadow that I have hit my goal on is this one here, which is also from my Panda palette. This here is the shade Kaleidoscope from Colourpop. This was originally in the Dream Street palette, but as you can see, it is now housed in my singles collection. And yeah, this one I know I've reached for more than 25 times already, but this is another one that I'm of course going to keep using a lot because it is in my Panda palette. But that is the third and final shadow that I have hit my goal on. So looking at my numbers, I have again hit goal on 3 shadows, and I currently have 603 single shadows in my collection, which means that I have not hit you know, that high of a percentage yet, but I have been able to complete 0.50% in this project. So I'm making a little bit of a headway, but not too much yet. But again, I was foreseeing that to happen anyway, and I'm hoping to be able to show you more shadows completed with 25 uses in the next month's update. So the next section that we have is my focus 15. This is something that I kind of decided to integrate into this project to keep myself on track and also have some goals on what to focus on, because again I have 600 plus single shadows in my collection, so without any kind of direction it's quite hard to know what I want to focus on. So I have decided to pick up a focus 15 each month, and those will be the ones that I will focus on, try to hit my goal on. Of course I might not be able to fully, you know, hit my goal on them like all of them in a month, but at least I will have something to focus on. Something else might pop up in the month that I'm gonna end up using more, but these will be something that I kind of keep in the back of my mind to reach for more. So I'm going to go through them. I want to show you the palette first. So here is the palette, and you can ignore the iridescence on top. I'm just kind of borrowing the space here, but you can see at the bottom here, these 15 shades are the one that I'm going to talk about. So let me jump into them. So the first shadow we have is this one right here. This is a press glitter actually from Colourpop. This is in the shade Indio, and this is one that I have reached for quite a lot. I reached for this one in 2024, and I actually had pan on it in that year, I believe, and I have a good head start on this one, which is why I want to try to reach for it more. Currently I have 16 uses on this one, so I have 9 more to go. I like using this one as manicure, so I might do that, use it on my nails, and whenever I use something on my nails that counts as 5 uses. So if I do that twice, you know, that would be my like 10 uses, which is more than I need. Or I can use it once on my nails and 4 times on my eyes. So that is going to be the first one, and I'm hoping that's going to be possible to reach. We have 2 more Colourpop singles, and both of them are actually from palettes originally, but this here is another one that is in my palette at the moment. This is the shade Champs, which is from the Yes Please palette originally, but again I'm holding it in my palette. So because it is in my palette, I think I'm going to reach for this one quite a lot. And I don't have like amazing use on it so far. I only have 5, but again it is one that I'm going to deliberately try to reach for more and hopefully be able to incorporate in a lot of looks. I do have 20 uses left on it, so I'm not sure if I will be able to hit the 25 use goal in the month of February, or like until the next update. But you know, whatever head start I can get on it, that would be amazing, and maybe it will stay in my focus 15 for March as well. Then a shadow that I'm wearing on my eyes today is this one right here. This is in my Panda palette in order, which I'm using my Colourpop singles for. So this is one that I want to hit pan on, which means I'm going to use it hopefully quite a decent amount. Again, I'm using it today. That is the shade that is all over my lid. I'm using a different pink to blend it out though, but this one is one that I do want to try to get some more use on. I do have a little bit of a dip in it. Of course it's going to stay in my kind of project for a while longer because I'm not close to pan yet, but so far this pan has 5 uses on it, the same as Champs, and I'm hoping to get a decent amount more in the month of February, and you know, Valentine's and stuff. I'm hoping to do a lot of pink looks, and I will see where I stand with this one at the next update. So let's move on to the next brand, which is Cleona. I do have quite a few Cleonas in my focus 15. First up is this one right here, which is another pink. This one is more of a cool tone pink. It has like a blue shift, like a blue to peach shift, so a little bit of warmth in it too, but it's more of a cool tone pink. This is another one that I'm hoping to pair a lot with the shade that I'm wearing, the matte shade that I'm wearing, Ghostin. I don't know if I said that, by the way, but the last pink shade that I talked about, that is the shade Ghostin. But this one here I already have a decent amount of use on. I actually have 15 uses on it, so I need to only reach for it 10 more times, and I think that's definitely going to be feasible in the next month, which is one of the reasons why I want to put it in as my focus. I also think it's going to be great again for February, so that is the next shade, and again only need 10 more uses, so I hope this one is going to be completed by next month. A shadow that I haven't reached for too much yet, but I did reach for it in the month of like January, so this past month, is this one here, which is Spire. This is one of their jewel multichromes. It's so funny because I look at it and it looks purple, like very purple, and I put it up on the screen and it's blue. It's super blue. But this is one of the dual multichromes. Like I said, it goes from that blue that you can see to like a warm tone purple with more shifts in between, but that's like the main shifts. And I have reached for this one 5 times. I actually use this one as a manicure and I love that look, so I might continue doing that in the month of February. And otherwise I can use this one as a liner or as an outer corner shade. It's not my favorite shade for all over the lid. They're a bit too deep for that, but I know I can get use out of this one anyway, and I want to start working on these deeper shades so I don't sit with all of them left at the end of this project. So that is why I'm introducing that one. Again, I'm not sure if I will be able to hit my goal on that one in the next month because I still need 20 more uses. We have 3 more Clionadh shadows and all of them sit at 10 uses. The first one is this shade right here, which is one of their hybrid multichromes, and this is the shade Queen's Banquet. You can see there it has this like purpley kind of pink shade that goes into gold, into a green, so it's a beautiful shifty shade. And again, like I said, this one has 10 uses on it. I used it in like my project 10 uses last year, I believe, and that's where those 10 uses come from. But I think it's a good kind of wintry shade, a good another pink shade. I can work with that pink matte that I want to pan. So I think this is going to be a good one, and I'm hoping to get a decent amount of use on it. Again, still 15 more uses to go, so not sure if I'll be able to roll it out, but at least I can get as much use out of it as I can. Another perfect kind of shade for winter is this one here, which is the shade Line of Queens. This here is the Glitter Vibrant Multichrome line. This one has like a silvery base that goes into a pink, into a green, into a gold. You can see it right there. It's super stunning, super shifty. It's a very beautiful shade. And again, I believe I used this one. No, I used this one in my deco panning last year for 10 uses, but that is where those 10 uses come from. And again, I am hoping to get a decent amount of use out of this one. It's a beautiful shade again for winter, so I think it's going to be an easy one to incorporate. And then lastly for Clionadh, again at 10 uses, we have this shade, which is the shade Statue Garden. This is a bit more of a satiny shade, but you can see there it has like this bluish greenish kind of base going into this purple, and it also has like a kind of gold to orange shift as well. It's a very shifty shade, but it's one that I want to get to know better. I know a lot of people love this one, but for me it's a little bit too satiny, but I think working on it like in a month like this, I think it's going to be one that I can get to know. And again, I already have those 10 uses on it, so I'm hoping to get quite far with it in the month of February if I'm not able to fully hit my goal on it. Alright, so the next brand we're going to move on to is Shine by SD, and I have 2 shades from them that I want to focus on. First up, we have this shadow here, which was in our Panos eyeshadows last year. This is the shade Golden Girl, which is a beautiful, as you can see, kind of gold shade. It's like a bronzy gold shade with a bit of a cool tone shift to it. It's super stunning. And this one I have, again, a decent amount of use on it because it was in my Panos eyeshadows. I did use it 12 times in that project, so that's what I'm sitting at, 12 uses. So I'm almost halfway there to the goal, and it's an easy everyday shade, so I thought this one would be good to throw in. So that is going to be the next one. Then the shadow with the lowest uses in this project is actually this one here. This one is only sitting at 2 uses, and this is the shade Mystic, again from Shine by SD. It's one of the Halo Horizon shades. And again, this one only sits at 2 uses, but the reason why I pulled this one in to focus on is because I rolled this one into my deco panning to use 10 times, so that would be 10 uses. I have 1 use on it already, so I would be sitting at like 11 uses on it after that point. So I thought that would give me a head start, and you know, I might not be able to again hit my goal on it fully this month, but I do want to focus on it and have this in the palette just so I can remember to use it. So that's going to be another one. It's a beautiful, again, kind of shimmery shade. It's a very sparkly shade. It's the most sparkly shade that I have in my collection, and that's actually why I rolled it into my deco panning, because I rolled it in for sparkly. It has like holographic sparkles to it, and it also is almost like a pressed glitter, but it's not. So super unique shade, and I absolutely love it. So that will be my next focus. Another shadow that I have not too many uses on yet, but I think it's going to be very easy to hit my goal on, is this one here. This is the beige shade that I have in my Pan palette. This is the NYX In Your Element Air palette shade in this beige, and it didn't have any name, so I just named it beige because it's like a setting shade. So this one I'm sitting at 7 uses on, so I have 18 more to go, but I think I should be able to hit that in a month, just because it's a really easy shade for me to reach for. I reach for these kind of blending out shades all the time. I don't set my lid with them, but I use them to kind of take down crease shades if they go too high and just blend out looks. So again, this is going to be a really easy one. Hopefully give me one for next month, and that's also why I wanted to introduce it or include it in the Focus 15. And that, by the way, is in my palette at the moment, and so is the next shade, which is from Glam Shop. This here is the shade Pill Kuskovi, I think it is. It's obviously Polish, but this is another one that I wanted to focus on because it is in my palette. It's also a beautiful Icona shade. It is like a blue to purple iridescent shade, super stunning. And currently I'm sitting at 4 uses with this one, so again, not too high, but since it is an easy Icona shade or topper shade, I thought I would try to focus on this one and see how far I can get with it in the month of February. Alright, so we have 3 more shadows to go. The next 2 are from Sydney Grace. They're both matte and quite similar. This here is the shade Laughter, which is kind of like a transition. It's a transition shade, but it's like slightly mauve toned, but it's more kind of like, you know, neutral to mauve toned. And this is one that I want to focus on because I'm currently sitting at 10 uses, and it's also an easy everyday shade. Of course, I am panning my Soft Glam palette, which has a lot of matte shades in it, but I feel like this one will work well with them and kind of help to build looks. And I do have to work on my mattes too in this project, so that's why I'm introducing this one. And yeah, I think it's gonna be an easy everyday one, so hopefully I can get that one out relatively soon. And then another one that is very similar to that one is this shade, which is called Time to Celebrate, also from Sydney Grace. It is quite similar in tone. It's a little bit more mauve, slightly less neutral, and also slightly deeper, so I think it's going to be another one that is going to be easy to incorporate. I can probably work on these 2 together. And this one I'm also sitting at 10 uses on, so I need another 15 uses on this one too. So I think if I use those 2 in like kind of like my everyday office looks for the next coming weeks, I should be able to get a decent amount of use on it, or use on them, and hopefully again have my goal hit relatively soon. And then we have one final shadow to talk about, and that is a shadow from Terra Moons. That is this shade here, which is actually an iridescent shade. It has a bit more of a base for an iridescent. You can see it kind of looks a bit blue, so it has like a blue to like almost ultraviolet shift. It has like this almost like tealy blue to ultraviolet shift, and a bit more of a grey base, as you can see. But it is a beautiful, more flaky shade, so it can be a bit harder to reach for or like to work with. But it's a beautiful topper shade or an Icona shade, which is why I think it's going to be quite versatile. And again, I'm sitting at 10 uses with this one, which is another reason why I want to focus on it. So let's see how far I can get with that one in the next month. So those were all of the shadows that I want to talk about in this video. Again, I'm sitting at 3 completed shadows and 0.5% completed, so quite a long way to go, but again, expected that. And I have also talked about my Focus 15 of what I want to focus on in February. I will make sure to kind of integrate those shadows into my BYOPs. I'll do kind of 2 palettes of BYOPs, one for Cleona, one for Round Singles. And I will do an updated one of those in the beginning of February. I might film that in the next couple of days, so it's pre-filmed and everything, and that will be my focus palettes for the next month, but these will still be my Focus 15. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I really hope you liked how I kind of structured my updates for this. Of course, I want to have enough to talk about, but I feel like having like those Focus 15 will be really helpful moving forward and kind of keep again my, you know, mind straight with this project. And I will continue updating you on percentage and how many shadows I complete each month in every update. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!